Hello, good afternoon. We are here at the International Materials Research Congress 2025 held in Cancun, Quintana Roo, Mexico. My name is Jesús Iván Peña Flores. The title of this investigation is A Study of the Structural, Ferroelectric, and Photoresponse Properties of Manganese and Niobium doped barium titanate thin films obtained by RF sputtering. In this research, these thin films of ATO and BTO coded with manganese and niobium were deposited on quartz substrate using radiofrequency sputtering. With the depletion of fossils, fuel reserves, and growing environmental concerns, the research for new renewable and clean energy technologies has attracted attention for several years. Renewable energy sources include wind, hydroelectric, geothermal, and solar thermal, and in our case, solar energy. Through innovative devices called solar panels, we can generate electrical energy by absorbing solar radiation. Generally speaking, a solar panel is composed of a thin film with excess N-type electrons and another thin film consisting of excess P-type holes. When both are together, a zone of region without charge carriers, called the depletion region, is created. This region has an internal electric field that prevents electrons and holes from recombining. This research aims to understand the effects of BTO on the ferroelectric through two essential aspects. The first property is its intrinsic electric field, and the second is the reduction of its energy band through doping with manganese and niobium. The methodology section contains the necessary information for manufacturing BTO targets with different dopings and the reagents used, the conditions required to form the ITO and BTO thin films. Now in results, we begin with the PFM images. Here we analyze the surface structure of the samples, the structure of the ferroelectric domains in the BTO, and its modification by the introduction of dopants at various concentrations. In figure 1, in the first column, presents the topography. In this section, the formation of grains in the BTO surface is observed, varying in size with increasing dopant. The surface undergoes pronounced morphological changes as doping increases from 64 nanometers for the undoped samples to 91 nanometers in the case of 5% doping in BTO. In the section and the third columns presents the amplitude and the phase micrographs. In the images in the second column, the amplitude shows the domain's walls in the ferroelectric. In the phase images, observe changes in the polarization direction as indicated by variation in contrast. Figure 3 and 4 show the local results of the hysteresis and strain curves at specified points on the surface of the BTO samples and the samples with 5 mol percent dopant respectively. Figure 3 illustrates the point strain curves upon application of an external voltage. These curves exhibit the characteristic butterfly shape typical of piezoelectric deformation. The slope of these curves allows the piezoelectric coefficient D33 to be determined which indicates the formation of the material upon application of an external voltages. The D33 coefficients decreased with the introduction of the dopants, reaching a maximum volume of 8.77 ppb in the 5% sample. Figure 4 determines the saturation polarization, remnant polarization, a coercive field of the sample set locally by the applied field. These results produce a phase shift of approximately 180 degrees due to the switching of the domains in the samples. The local saturations and remnant polarization values are obtained with values that continues to decrease starting with the pure BTO. The band gap is calculated using the tau equation, yielding the following results. For pure BTO, a value of 3.6 electron volts is obtained, whereas from the BTO sample doped with 5% manganese and niobium, it reduces to 1.66 electron volts, which is a significant aspect of this work. Now, in the figure 6, we observe the behavior of the system for the photocell through current voltages measurements. In the current values, when the visible light source is applied, no changes occurs. It remains at the same values. When a UV radiation source is used, a slight increase in the current is observed. However, when this same condition applied to the 5% doped BTO sample, a greater increase is observed, which is result starting with no illumination, then with visible light, then with UV light, and finally a more pronounced increase with both radiation are used. An improvement in the photoresponse property is observed. Now, in the conclusion part, we found in the PFN micrographs show that the grain size increases with the doping. The PFN measurements show the films exhibit ferroelectric properties. This measurement estimate the piezoelectric coefficients, which demonstrate a decrease from the value of PMB. The bulk sample shows a band gap decrease from 3.6 electron volts for pure BTO to 1.66 electron volts in the 5% doped samples. The ferroelectric hysteresis curve shows a slight diminishing in the saturation polarization with increased doping, and the IV measurement shows the photoresponse in the system is favorable, and that increasing doping modifies the photovoltaic effect. These are the first results of this research work. I hope they catch your attention. Good luck and have a nice day.